Alrighty then, back once again for another reaction. This time it's Once Upon a Time, Season 2, Episode 8. In the previous episode, Child of the Moon, it was a complete Ruby episode and I absolutely loved everything about it, and I've already been over all of that. Some of you didn't like it that much, and that's fair, opinions are opinions, but I personally considered it one of the best. So, bleh. I might have a little bit of bias due to being a fan of Ruby, RWBY, the Rooster Teeth series, and how it was all based on fairy tales and stuff. So I'd already had a rekindled interest in fairy tales and stuff before I even got onto Once Upon a Time. So, you know how Ruby Rose was Red Riding Hood, Blake was Belle from Beauty and the Beast, Yang was Goldilocks, etc., etc., and Weiss was Snow White, in case anyone's going to be like, don't leave out Weiss. So that, because Ruby is one of my favourite main characters of something, I think that really gave me an inherent bias to loving Red Riding Hood aesthetic and type of character. So the Ruby of Once Upon a Time was sort of someone I was instantly drawn to and wanted to know more about, simply because I now have a bias for thinking that Red Riding Hoods and all the wolves and stuff, it's all badass. It's all badass, and I loved seeing more of her, and I thought it was great. I had a personal investment in it, which probably helped. But now, obviously, we're on to another episode. Oh, but I just want to clarify, I will be reacting to Ruby Volume 7, hopefully before Volume 8 comes out later this year. Like, God. And I should be getting some freer time than usual this weekend. So if that plays out, I'm considering marathoning Ruby Volume 7, just so you know. But anyway, that's then. This is now. It's a new episode of Once Upon a Time for me. Obviously, this show finished quite a while ago now, but new for me. Let's go. New episode. Really good episode here. Enjoyed it a lot. Loved all the fiery, dreamy shenanigans going on between Aurora, Henry, David, Mary. We got everybody tossed in there. Rumpel and Regina sort of working together. Everybody being like, well, the main thing is we don't want Cora coming over here. Even though Rumpel's like, well, I could take her, but, you know, for the sake of you babies. He kind of reminds me of Discord from MLP in a way when he acts like that, but I love him. I love when he acts like that. Aurora, shooting up in my rankings for sure. She showed immense bravery in this episode and really showed to me her worth. Like, as in terms of I don't know, the general attitude of her being, because she started off as this, I don't know, typical princess that was along for the road and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe all this is happening. Like, you know, a bit of a liability, I might like to say, just someone who's used to a certain way of living and is like, oh my gosh, and having to constantly be protected and stuff. To see her rise up in her bravery on several occasions in this episode really endeared me to her character. She was really good here. And I know that she's probably been emboldened by everything that they've been going through so far, but I really loved how she put it. She was supposed to be asleep forever. Now that she's been waking up, every day that she has is a gift. Why can't she use it in the way that she sees fit? Like, why can't she decide what she wants to dedicate her life towards, even if it's for the benefit of a stranger? Like, that is a noble goal. I like that. Very understandable and relatable, and it really endears me to her character. I really appreciate that they added this. Obviously the family bonds going on here, the love between David and Henry, and then himself and Mary, and Emma worrying about Henry, and then Mary comforting Emma, like lots of great family interaction, like in a whole spectrum across this episode, and it was overall really wonderful. I really like how it was sort of rushed, but in a way that I can completely understand and accept. That David found the room so quickly is because Henry thought to give him the necklace. That's not an aspel. That's legit. It's supposed to control the room, and so it knew where the room was. That is logic to me. That is logical, and it makes perfect sense. So there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, loved all of that. Pretty ballsy move of him to jump through the wall of fire to get to his love. It's just a shame that it didn't work out. He's got to now wait until Margaret can come back home. I don't know why I'm saying Mary all this. I've started calling her Snow again because I'm trying to call these people by their fairy tale names because it's easier for me. I don't know why I'm calling people by their aliases sometimes. I know David is the prince's name is Dave. You know, David is fine to call David because he was called David. But for everyone else, I've been trying to call them the story time names. You know. Storybook, not Storybrooke. I've been trying to call Gold Rumple, that kind of thing. Regina, of course, is Regina, similar to David. But for some reason, I keep slipping back into Mary for Snow. I mean to say Snow. Whenever I say Mary, I mean to say Snow. That's just my personal preference for how I want to be referring to it. So, trying to get to Snow and then it not working. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, so now he has to be patient and wait for Snow to come back to the real... well, I say real, I mean our time, Storybrooke, our world. What else? I'm trying to think. It's been a bit hot here lately. I might be a little bit looser in the head today. I might have to get the episode up again. If the hard drive will load. Oh no, Hook. That's it. I wanted to talk about Hook. Really interested in Hook. Not only for the way he keeps teetering back and forth on whose side is he truly on. I assume the side that looks like it's going to benefit him the most. But also this whole thing that they seem to be teasing of him having a certain fondness for Emma. Because like I said in one of the previous episodes, she didn't seem too unfond of him. In those little subtleties in their interactions. So I'm curious as to if this is eventually, as a slow build kind of thing, going to go anywhere, or if he is going to become an antagonist. Because right now I don't know how to categorize him, because one minute he looks like he's helping us and the next minute looks like he's helping Cora. So I really enjoyed the twist in this that he took Aurora's heart before he woke her up, because I completely bought his thing about letting her go genuinely. Like, well, okay, cool, you're a good dude. But now he's given her heart to Cora so she can spy on them, and as we saw, like, use Aurora as a ventriloquist dummy. I didn't know you could do that with hearts. Or maybe it's something Regina couldn't do, but Cora can do. Maybe it's like an advanced technique with the hearts or something. I don't know. But that is really interesting and sets them up for a confrontation before they come back through. Because if Cora knows everything they're doing, she is always going to be one step ahead, as if she wasn't already. So, yeah, that's a thing. But yeah. Yeah, so, Mulan, I get it, girl, I get it, but, You made a series of errors, and Snow was about to kill you before Aurora stepped in, because that's how far she was willing to go. You saw her make the motion to before Aurora shouted. Like she was about to strike her with the arrow. Like that's a pretty major statement of intent. Like yeah, do not come between Snow and her family. That's just how it is. Oh. Yeah, this episode was basically about the bonds these family members had between each other, and I really appreciated it. It felt kind of different to some of the episodes we've been getting so far, but that's not in a bad way. I felt like this was an episode where we almost took a breather. I know there was intense flames and some camera shaking fighting going on, but in the overall sense of an episode, I feel like this was a much calmer, more character-driven episode where we get a lot of things done through the conversations that we have, and things look pretty good. I really, really enjoyed the whole relaying thing, the whole idea of relaying messages through the world based on Rumpel being able to tell Henry, and then Henry being able to pass a message on, and so forth. And then David put himself in there. He just got a little bit unlucky with the whole tangibility thing. Like, they couldn't have accounted for that. So he's going to have to be rescued whenever they come back home. But, and Henry slowly starting to build a bond with Regina step by tiny step. Like, I really love this, and I hope it continues to grow, because now that Emma has decided, it seems, to blame Regina entirely for everything that's happened, which you can't really blame her for. I'm hoping that this means we'll be headed for a pretty touching scene where Emma will try and start on Regina, or like start swinging on Regina when she comes back, and Henry gets between them to the shock of Emma, and he explains to her how she's been making a genuine effort, and there's like a slight stand-up with Henry. Are you serious? Like, yes. Like, I really want something like that. I don't know. I just live for that kind of drama. But yeah, can't really think if there's anything else I wanted to touch on. Everything was like pretty simple, but there was a lot of it all packed together, and it all was really effective on me, and I really enjoyed what I was watching. And on that note, I'm going to enjoy whatever I see next, and I will see you guys next time.